startups can survive for a long time for a lot of things. Lack of clients, lack of money in the bank, lack of quality people in the team, debatable. But there are certain things that startups cannot ignore, and we're going to talk about those red flags in this video. Starting with number one, struggling to keep up with competition. So if you experience that with your startup, then your product is probably not that different from what's already on the market, which is quite a problem, because then you need to really try really hard to sell your product that it's different, it's still unique, even though that's not might be actually true. We can see that happening a lot with AI startups right now, because when OpenAI releases something, and yet there are tons of startups that try to do kind of similar things, it's very hard for them to differentiate themselves from bigger companies that already do that thing very well. So OpenAI has that ChatGPT model, and most AI startups take that model and put a bunch of other tools on top of that model, and then they sell that. And when ChatGPT releases that feature, so that now ChatGPT can do that, those AI startups immediately die. And that is the problem, because they are not that different from the core product that people can get for free. Why would they pay for extra one or two features that AI software company offers when ChatGPT will release that next month? And the solution to that problem is quite obvious. You just need to create a better product. And yes, you can also try to weigh in other market segments where those big companies are not really targeting, but you could. But if you're gonna continue competing with existing products on the market, then you still constantly have to innovate, put new features in there, trying to differentiate yourself, which is a sure way to fail. Just stop looking at competition and deliver better products. Of course, you can still look at competition, but just deliver the good product. That brings me to the second point, which is no vision or clear path. I recently read a really cool book by Simon Sinek, Start With Why, and it actually had my eyes open, because we actually were doing that with our product as well. Why there are so many mediocre companies out there and only few good ones is because the good ones have the reason why they do it. And Simon Sinek stated that people don't buy what you do, but they buy why you do it. So there was an example with Apple, right? They don't sell computers, they sell the lifestyle with that computer. So like challenging the status quo and just the being admired by elegance and simplicity, and having that original computer that is simple and it's like beautiful and innovative, even though it's expensive, right? So people don't necessarily buy those Apple computers, they buy the image and the brand of the company that comes with that computer, so that they can say that, oh, I also think different, I also challenge the status quo. And when companies don't have the reason why they do what they do, they have to compete with other companies based on the prices, based on the features. So if someone releases a new feature, oh, I have to make it the same one but a little bit better, or more features. And all that is kind of manipulating, and it's not really creating that loyal customer base. But when that company stops focusing on the product so much and starts actually trying first starts actually with why, they put that mission statement into their product, which actually makes people to buy their products. So develop that mission statement why people should buy your product, why your company is so special, because product is not the company. The third red flag that we're going to talk about is lack of customer engagement. And I'm not talking about when you don't have customers, when your marketing sucks or your selling strategy is not there, or you're not targeting the customer segment. But the red flag is when you know your customer, you know your target audience, but when they start using your product, sign up for their service, and they just don't engage with it, or they don't stick with it. So that is a clear sign that there is something wrong with your product. It could be that your product doesn't solve the problem adequately, or your product created a new problem. Again, maybe you chose the wrong customer segment, but the red flag is in the product. The fourth red flag is when your team in the company becomes disorganized or dismotivated. So when your team stops outputting great results, or people start looking for another job, where they just stop believing in your product or in your company, or maybe even you as a leader, then you have a really big problem here. And it's probably your fault, because you are failing as a leader. You are failing to motivate your team, and you probably not showing them that you have the clear path or the plan of how you're gonna achieve your goals. You need to create the trust. You need to be straight with your team. You need to include them at the affairs of the company. You need to treat them like adults and with respect. You need to show that you have the plan, and then the team will reciprocate, make them involved, make them contribute, to suggest solutions. You are failing them as a leader, not the other way around. The fifth red flag is when you cannot find investors. So let's come back to AI. When AI hype just started, investors were literally throwing their money at all the AI startups. And now that is changing, because right now OpenAI and Microsoft, Amazon, other big companies with AI models, they create new things every day. That means the dynamic in the market is so fluctuating that investors are unsure what's going to be next week. That's why they cannot decide if it's going to be a good investment for the next 5 years, because they don't know what's going to be tomorrow. But there's a thing called fear of missing out, FOMO, right? That's what moves investors, angel investors, VCs to actually invest into the product, because they're afraid that that product is going to take off and they're going to miss the opportunity to invest on that. But if you have a really good product, a dedicated team, and an obvious demand for your solution, you will be swimming in offers from VCs. But if that doesn't happen, look inward. Fix those red flags and I guarantee that your startup is going to go very far. Right, but if you want to know how to build your company from the ground up, you can go and check out more videos on our channel. We talk about that a lot. So until next time, see you.